All right, so before I get straight into the video, I did want to give like a little tour of like my home studio and as to the main reason why I like to cook up straight from my crib a lot of times, or especially if you want to go virtual and cook up with me too, it's no problem because I just have all my equipment here and I don't mind for networking purposes, you know, to go out cook up at the studio and stuff like that. But for me personally, and I feel like for a lot of producers that for real take it seriously too, they like cooking up at the crib, and it helps with like a lot of my sound too, just because I know where everything at. My certain instruments, my guitars and stuff. I'll just kind of show you brief. It ain't that much because I ain't that rich yet, but this is just a little something. So kind of starting with my guitars. You can't really see it that good because the light over here is terrible, but got a little bass, 4-string bass, nothing crazy. SDGR. Not a crazy brand. This is my favorite guitar right now. It's the Gretsch. Let me get it in the light. It's kind of my go-to guitar. But recently, I've been going back to this. This is like one of my first guitars. This is a Squier and it's not a Fender Strat, but sounds similar. And probably what we're using today, because I do want to make like more R&B. It's my acoustic. I use this for a lot and got a few placements with this one. This Epiphany acoustic. I like the way it sounds. I kind of do want a classical sounding acoustic guitar next, but that'll be later. And I have a ukulele that I need to use more, to be honest. But yeah. Now, as far as what's on my desk, I have this Volt 476P. The only reason I have it is because I needed multiple inputs to run this pedal. Eventually, at first, I had a regular Volt with just 2 inputs. That's all you pretty much need, something to run your monitors. But since I got a pedal, I was like, I need to upgrade my interface. That's where I got that. The mic, I kind of just got this not too long ago because I want to start recording people too, and also it helps my acoustic guitar sound as well. But it's a TLM 103. Yeah, regular Arturia. Was it I guess a 61 key on my desk, and yeah, in my mood pedal that I already kind of mentioned. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I know in that previous clip I did mention that we was gonna cook it with the acoustic, but I kind of did change my mind. I went ahead and used that Strat Squier guitar to make this guitar melody, but only because I've been wanting to make more up-tempo R&B music. I know I got a few things I had to work on with that, so I was like, might as well just use my other guitar instead. And this is what it sounds like. And typically what I do for like my melodies or guitar melodies and kind of any melody really is you always add, or depending on what it is, I ain't gonna say always, but I add a second counter melody or a top line. And for this one, I made kind of 2 different ones for these 8-bar loops. So I'll just play it all the way through. And that's just like the general idea. Of course, you don't have to be the greatest guitar player. You can use loops from other guitar players, or you can even hit me up. I make guitar loops all the time. But that's just the general idea of like how I build like my R&B melodies or melodies in general, honestly. And as far as, and I get this question a lot too, as far as like in person, what I use for my guitar VSTs. And lately, I know I have a couple of NeuralDSP ones, but lately I've been using this John Mayer. This John Mayer archetype VST from NeuralDSP. It's pretty much a amp simulator. And I'm using this this preset, 3 amps in a room preset, but they have so many I wish I can bring it up. But yeah, they have so many different presets in here and different functions you can do to change your sound. It's like crazy. I also use like the Tim Henson NeuralDSP VST as well. But this is just, I like the sound on this preset. I think I got a favorite as well. So yeah. As far as my guitar chain, I'll just go through that too, because I don't like the gatekeep a lot. And I always wanted to figure out, and I still want to figure out some other people's like guitar chains or how they make it sound so crisp. But this is just like my chain that I used, that I came up with. So first I use this, and this recently started using this, is this Manley Voxbox. It's typically used as a preamp for vocals, a virtual preamp, but it has like this guitar setting just to make it more crisp and more present, I think. At least it sounds like to me. So I use this like rock guitar preset just to, make it pop a little bit more. So the next VST is this, the one that I just talked about, that John Mayer VST. So we can go past that one. Next, I have a EQ in case I want to do additional EQing. I can do this, some EQing inside the box in this John Mayer. Here we go. Yeah, in this John Mayer VST. And next, I have a compressor, just like a regular Logic compressor, but you can use any compressor that you have available that sound good to you. I used a FET or FET, or however you want to say it, compressor, just to make it sound more poppy. And then also I use this RX to make it like my guitars more present. I don't know, it just brings more of a gritty sound to it. So that's pretty much my my guitar chain, and that's the same for both. I might, for the second top melody, either I'll change like a preset for a different sound or something like that. But a lot of times I would just, to make the this counter melody stand out, I would just pan it to the right or left, or do something, play with the stereo imaging a little bit so it can just stand out a little bit more, especially if it's in that frequency range. And I did want to EQ it a little bit, like some of these, make sure the frequencies on both the lead melody and a counter melody, they have their own frequency. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. See how I duck some of the frequencies around that 300 hertz range in that main guitar. Now I kind of want to bring that up here. And kind of duck it where it is around that 2K range. Subtle. It's not really a drastic change, but just to give it its own space. So I would say typically for me, if I make a guitar melody, it's usually in Logic, but if I'm making a full beat, I would just throw it in the FL Studio. So we're just gonna go over to FL Studio real quick. All right, so now I threw over the guitar stems in FL. I do want to note that I really rock with FL. Just honestly, this is something really simple, but I don't know any. It probably is a bunch of other DAWs that do this, but I've recently found out that you can change the wavelength colors based off of the frequency range that it plays in. So like the more red, the more darker, and the more lighter, like it goes to blue, is the highest, like around 20k hertz or something like that. it would show up blue or something like that. And I think that's, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think that's kind of clutch to kind of quickly scan through and see what maybe need to be taken out or clashing or something like that, or you know what's what. I don't know, it just helps visually a little bit better too. So what I first did was chop up the 8-bar loop. So here, chopped it here, and this is a repetitive, so same thing here, but only because I want to arrange it, and we'll get to that later. I want this melody to play in one part, and then maybe later along the line, this melody will play in another part. So the next thing I want to do is just add layers. So I'm going to look through, I don't know what I'm going to use yet, but I'm going to look through some VSTs and see what I can find for some keys just to layer with. And once again, the idea is to make it R&B. So I messed up. Not the greatest keyboard player. I messed up a little bit. Players mess up. I know I don't want to use this sound exactly, but just to lay down an idea, similar to keys I want, but this to roll a little bit more. That sound kind of off. All right, let me go through some presets. Sound similar. Somewhere reverby. Here we go. Also, I would like to say, because I didn't mention this before, but the MKI is a contact bank, but it has a bunch of dope sounds. Like, I'm not going to change off of it, but it has a lot of course, regular key sounds, but it has like these atmospheric, like melody. I don't know how to say it, like internal melody type of vibes where it's like takes you into a different dimension type of deal. I don't know how to explain it, but it has a bunch of dope sounds in there. I'll probably use one as a pad. Let me finish this one first. So this is why I was talking about those like atmospheric sounds. I don't know, I think it's dope. I'm trying to figure out which one. Alright, so I do want to find some like ear candy next, that's what I like to do personally, but just to you know, make it stand out a little bit more. It sounds cool as it is, and I'm like about almost ready to add drums. Maybe I add a bass line too. So I do want to say RC20, which is a pretty popular plugin, but I use this preset I think I got from Sound World on a lot of my vocals just because it make it sound more present. Where is it at? It's called Idolize. Oh, hold on, let me turn it down because it's gonna be pretty loud, but you can kind of hear the difference. Turn it down some more. It already kind of has a reverb on there, so I don't have to add more. Kind of gives it that tape saturation. Actually, I'm gonna turn this off. But yeah, this is kind of a preset. If you use RC20, if you want to just copy these settings and not have to like buy a preset or figure out how to get this sound, you can just kind of go from there. But yeah, but I did kind of want to pitch it up a little bit before I add in the bass line. Okay, so now we can get into the drums. I know for the intro, I had an idea to just start with some like regular snaps. Something simple for the hi-hat. So one thing that I like to do for my hi-hats is add like varying velocity for my for each note. So what I do for Mac at least, and I think it's the same for Windows, instead of option, I hit Option O to bring up this piano roll LFO thing. You can change the velocities or whatever, mess around with the parameters and kind of vary however you want. On Windows, it's just Alt O, so same thing. I do want to turn this down though. Now that I turned the velocity up. There we go. Alright, so now for the arrangement. So typically like I did already, just split everything out, and then let me just select everything. Command B, copy a bunch of them over. Now I know I want to cut down the intro. Actually, bring these scratches over. I think this is what I'm gonna do for this part. I'm gonna drop the kick on this last part. I'm gonna chop everything right there and get rid of all of this, and then have the beat start. Just loop the beat from right there, and that'll be it. Cut it back one more, but yeah, I definitely want the beat to come back in right here. So I'll copy that, loop that over 2 more times, and then what I like to do is kind of throughout the beat, kind of dropping it out or switch up some more stuff. So, or add in a break or two. That's probably what I do. And I think for the end, I'm gonna just have the guitar play by itself. Just fade out. Do this too often. I wonder if I'll pitch everything down an octave or just the guitar down an octave on this part. This is a cool intro, outro idea. I appreciate anybody, that just stopped by and checked out my video. Like I said, I've been on the road trying to post these like every other week or so. So please follow me on these social medias here. I should be pulling up right here. There will be more content soon. Like I said before, I'm still working on my drum kit / multi kit or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, also I did mention like my last video, I was making a whole vlog for Atlanta. I didn't end up making a full vlog. It was so much going on that I didn't capture everything. I captured enough to make like an IG post, so you can see it on my IG, some of the clips. But the next time for sure, I'm making a full vlog. And actually next time I'm going to a city that I haven't been to as far as on the music scene, and I'm kind of excited to go to, is I'll be going to Miami. So I'll definitely make a vlog about that. And it's been a long time coming because some people I needed to see. It's been a while. I've seen them out in Houston before, and that's where I stay. But like, it's just I don't know. It's just been a long time coming since going to Miami. So I'm excited to go there and actually explore a new city on that type of scene. So yeah, with all that being said, y'all be blessed. Peace out.